Good morning. It is 8:07 now on NewsTalk 1079. It's a Friday edition of the Neal Larson Show. Welcome, one and all. And I do mean all. We have a very robust audience here. Although it's interesting, we do notice listenership drops a little bit on Fridays. And for a while, we're like, why is that happening? And then we realized, oh, it's the site. Like a lot of people around here because of the site, and maybe because some school districts are closed on Fridays, behavioral patterns change, and so listenership drops. But nonetheless, we are still a very robust community of listeners and talkers here, and want to welcome you to the program this morning. And finally, I feel like if you go through, and I'll tell you a little bit of inside baseball about my routine in the morning, every day has a new sheet in my big yellow legal pad, and I use a pretty common format, and I deliberately handwrite my notes, because if I just automated all of that, it wouldn't be in my brain as much. But if you went back over the last few sheets, you would see Idaho legislature, war in Iran, whatever. And it just, these are important issues. We do talk about them and process them, but you kind of get tired of it after a while. But we have interesting things to talk about today beyond that. And we're going to tackle some of that. But I have, as Julie just said, the last words Julie just spoke to me, one word actually, tickets. And we interviewed Chris Cargill yesterday, and he very graciously said, hey, if you want, give away 2 pairs of tickets for the Dana Perino dinner in Boise at the Grove Hotel tomorrow night. And so we're like, oh, okay. And we're happy to do it. But you got to think through the process of how you give away tickets. And so Julie and I, this morning, we have been brainstorming. Here's how we're going to do it. It's very, very simple. We want you to send to our text line a screenshot of the app on your phone. Our app, NewsTalk 1079. So if you don't have the app, you have plenty of time. Just go to your app store, whether it's Android, Google Play, or the Apple Store, wherever you get your apps, and just look up NewsTalk 1079, 107.9. We should be the very first result. If we're not the first, we're right there near the top. So if you don't have the app, go ahead and download it. Like I said, there's plenty of time. Launch the app and just take a screenshot of the app and text it to 208-542-1079. And then as we get closer to the end of the show, probably around 9:30-ish, we will randomly pick 2 of you to win those tickets. Now, I do want to say this. Only do this. Normally, we want high levels of participation, but these are prime tickets. All right, it's not like, $5 ticket night somewhere at the fair. Or, this is Dana Perino of Fox News. She'll be headlining the event tomorrow night in Boise. I believe it includes dinner, including the speech, like all of that. And so we would love to send a couple of you with +1s to that, but only do this if you are relatively certain that you'll be able to go. Okay, of course things can happen, but I don't want you to do it if you're like, I'm 50-50. I'll see if I can make it. We want people who are pretty confident that they can make it. So screenshot the app when it's up on your phone and just send that screenshot to 208-542-1079. When you do that, don't worry about names or anything at this point. We have your numbers, and we'll just pick a couple of you at random. We'll text you back and say, you won the tickets, and then we'll get the info from you at that point. So just the screenshot is fine. If you'd like to attend. I believe things get underway. The dinner's from 6 to 8:30. And I don't know if these are VIP tickets or not, like the meet and greet, but there, if you send that, you'll get more information about the tickets. We'll hook you up with Chris Cargill of the Mountain States Policy Center, and we'll make those tickets happen. Okay, that being said, we have really sort of an interesting mix of stuff. The Idaho House has passed a bill that is requiring law enforcement to record the immigration status and nationality of every person arrested in the state. Now, I will tell you, every immigration bill may as well have late-stage pancreatic cancer. They don't really survive at all when they pass the House and then they go over to the Senate. They go into a drawer and they die. And it's sad because I look at this, you had law enforcement that didn't really want to get involved with this. Representative Dale Hawkins sponsored the measure. It faces opposition from major police and sheriff associations over concerns about the added workload for officers. Now, I don't know what the bill requires. My understanding is that it's a question, and that question then gets reported. That's it. It's recorded down, part of some database, whatever. So it's one additional piece of information. It does not require law enforcement agencies to even act on it. I don't believe they're required to notify ICE. I don't think it's any more paperwork. I don't believe that it is any kind of an additional administrative burden beyond, are you here legally or not? Suspect. And that's it. So I think the purpose, and we played the audio a few days ago from Representative Hawkins, basically saying Idahoans have a right to know what the burden is of the illegal immigrant population in the state. Now, that's one way of viewing it. There's also another way of viewing it, and I will tell you, here's what I think is happening. We do have a sizable Hispanic population in Idaho. Police officers work hard to have good relationships with the communities in which they serve because, you know what, they have to arrest people. They have to give people traffic tickets. They've got to do this. So they work hard to establish trust and good relationships and all of those things. And I think this is an issue that they're finding comes with a lot of emotion. And if they become sort of the de facto narc on you organization saying, you're illegal, I guess my question would be, will those results be part of a database which is then accessible by ICE and other immigration enforcement agencies? I don't know the answer to that question, and I wish I would. So I don't really see this actually being an administrative burden. It's one more question that takes 5 seconds in the processing of someone who gets arrested, and then you just record their answer. So I feel like it's not a workload issue. I do think that it might be more about, look, our relationships with our communities can be complicated enough, and we don't want one other complicating factor. So we'll see what happens. The good news for those who like the bill is it passed pretty easily in the House. The bad news for those who like the bill is it's headed over to a chamber called the Senate, which is a place for immigration bills to go and die. And this one probably will face the same fate. And speaking of that, I didn't want to talk about the legislature, but here we are. State senators in Boise, they have voted unanimously to limit the number of bills that legislators can request each year to help manage a record-breaking workload. I ran the numbers this morning for the Party Cohesion Index, and I think when it was pulling the Legiscan numbers, we're now up over 700 bills. Whoosh. That is a lot. Like, I will say that's a lot. But they could advance bills that get wide support and lots of attention. Now, if there are other bills that are of lower priority and more tedious and maybe not ready for prime time, everyone can understand why they'd say, that's a bill eligible for drawership. That's a word. But I think that bills are being killed based on content, and that's the problem. Rather than readiness, it's based on we don't want to make the body here vulnerable politically, and we don't want the outcome that would likely happen if we do put this to a vote. I think that's much more likely to be the case. But this new rule would cap draft requests at 25 per lawmaker following a session that saw nearly 900 of pieces. Oh, you know what? I think maybe my poll on this was over 700. It excludes some of those. They had to make it to a certain point. But right now, almost 900 pieces of legislation have been prepared. Supporters say the limit's necessary to keep the part-time legislature efficient and reduce the extreme burden currently placed on state bill drafters. So, yeah, is it an issue that needs to be addressed? Yeah. Is this the best way to do it? I'm not so sure. I don't know if that's the case, but we'll see. There's also another story, too, and we'll take our break after this. Bonneville School District 93 has trustees have approved a request for a $7.6 million increase to their supplemental levy on the May ballot. That's almost double from what I understand. The superintendent says the Idaho Falls Area District is facing a major funding shortage as its savings are projected to run dry by 2027. So we're looking at next year. If voters reject the measure, the district warns it will be forced to consider layoffs and cuts to music and PE. So I look at this, and I've got to find out more. I'm not going to throw a lot of shade at this, but there's certainly going to be some sticker shock for a lot of voters who, in my mind, have been very, very generous over the years. Most school levies pass, and typically by fairly significant margins. But I will also add to that, most school levies don't get doubled when they go to the ballot as well. And I'm worried for the levy in a way. And I, on record, by the way, for those of you who think that Julie and I hate public school, and I think this is similar for Julie, but I'll only speak for myself here, I almost always vote for the supplemental levy. I voted no on a few bonds because I felt like it's not ready for prime time or they're asking for too much. But that's a 30-year commitment. This is a 2-year thing, and if it stays the same or if it's a modest increase, I have almost always, if not always, voted to support the local schools with a levy in whatever school district I was living at the time. So knock it off, you people who hate parental choice in education. We don't hate education. I've voted many a time for the supplemental levy and paid many a dollar into the supplemental levies. So that's nothing could be further from the truth. But you know what? The problem is you have to be in nearly 100% alignment, or they view you as a hater and an adversary. So it wouldn't. I don't think that really matters. But I just wanted our schools to have what they needed to get by. In this particular case, I think you're going to have voters saying, I'll pay more, but not double. Like that's too big of an increase. And I did do a ChatGPT search because I wanted to learn more. And the result was the most recent credible current numbers show that Bonneville School District's savings, technically called the fund balance, has changed quickly over the past couple of years. It recently reached a peak in 2024 at $17.3 million in reserves. And currently they're at 6.6, which is less than half of where they were 2 years ago. It's projected to drop to about $110,000 by 2027 if the trends continue. District leaders say they've already been drawing down savings since 2024 to cover the budget gaps. That $6.6 million is not extra cash. It's their operating cushion. it was temporarily boosted by one-time COVID-era funding, which is now, poof, gone. So the district is actively spending it down to avoid immediate cuts, which is why they're now considering layoffs, asking for a larger supplemental levy, and warning that the fund could effectively run out. And so we'll see. The supplemental levy will be happening May 19th, the day of the primary. So I'm sure there's going to be a lot over the next couple of months. There's going to be a lot of back and forth over that. Coming up, we're going to take a quick break, and we're about 10 to 15 minutes away from this morning's Studio 4 cover. Rawlston Smith doing a little Dean Martin for us. I don't know if we've ever had a Dean Martin cover, so this will be fun. And, of course, if you'd like to win those tickets to the Dana Perino dinner, text a screenshot of your phone with the app up and running to 208-542-1079. We're going to pick winners in a little over an hour from now on NewsTalk 1079.
You, just you, building your app on Base 40.
We'll be back after a quick break.
Hey, it's Brad from Now 105.1 and QP99. I'm in the studio here. I love our studios, by the way. Ranger Rick back there. There's Neal and Julie doing their thing. Hey, when you want to advertise on the radio, what do? You call the radio station, right? But what do you do when you want to advertise on Facebook and Instagram and Hulu and Disney Plus and Peacock and the other TV streaming services? You can kind of click around on them and make guesses or read books or take courses online on how to do that advertising. Or you could call us at the radio station. At Sandhill Media, we take care of your local radio and digital marketing. So reach out to us at sandhillmediagroup.com and we'll make sure that your message gets heard and seen wherever your customers are.
All right, it's 8:29 now on News Talk 1079. We have some sad news to share with you this morning. It just broke minutes ago that Chuck Norris has passed away at the age of 86. I did see a story a couple of days ago that he was taken to the hospital with some kind of medical emergency.
In Hawaii.
Yeah, and he apparently has passed away, and I'll miss him. I think Chuck Norris was a guy who just was universally, people just liked him. He, of course, had the reputation of just being invincible, and the memes about him were very funny. And but we bid farewell to Chuck Norris.
At the very first, I pointed at the TV because I saw the breaking news alert. And then I said to Neal, he really is not immortal.
Not invincible. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so...
Very sad.
Yeah, that is. So, but 86, that's a good
life.
Good long life. Mm-hmm. He did
Just
a lot of things.
one of the good dudes.
Yep. Remember watching Walker, Texas Ranger? Remember that show?
Yeah.
All right. We need a break. It's 8:30 on News Talk 1079. When we come back, Rawlston Smith is going to cover some Dean Martin for us. Everybody loves somebody sometime, so we'll have that for you coming up on News Talk 1079. And we're back now. News Talk 1079, Neal Larson along with Julie Mason on a Friday. And that means right now that we're doing Studio 4 coverage, Julie, and we're excited to welcome Rawlston Smith in studio with us. Rawlston, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
You bet. It's good to have you in this morning. And tell us a little bit about you and your background and who you are.
Well, I'm a local. I grew up in Manan, so just up the road from here, and I've lived here my whole life, and I love to sing and perform, going to school, and I love my life.
Okay. Well,
It's awesome. You've done performing before, so tell us where you've been, and you've got a performance that's currently happening.
Yeah, so right out of high school, I started working at the Playmill Theater, and it feels like I've worked there for most of my life. I really enjoy working up there, and I've done 4 summers, and this next upcoming summer will be my 5th summer season up there with them.
I just saw what they are debuting. Which one will you be in?
Yeah, so I'll be in Newsies and in Les Miserables.
Oh, good.
So fun.
Yeah, I'm really excited. It's going to be a blast. And I mean, that's such a cool opportunity, especially those shows, you know.
Yeah.
To be in both at the same time. That's really exciting.
So, Rawlston, do you have some social media? Because our listeners love to follow the music that we have on here.
Yeah, I mean, I have my own Instagram account where I don't have a lot on there. I think on my Facebook I have a couple of videos of me singing. But I think I'm probably the only Rawlston Smith on Facebook and Instagram. So pretty easy to find.
And tell us about Guys and Dolls.
So I'm in a show at Center Stage Theater right now here in Idaho Falls. We're doing Guys and Dolls, and it has been a blast. I love it. It's like a golden age musical, and I am really lucky I get to play across from my girlfriend in real life. Her name is Danielle, and she actually works at the local 8 News, so people are stopping her all the time after the show to ask about what the weather's going to be like, things like that.
Okay.
But it's such a special privilege. It's a ton of fun, and it's a great show. It's still the rest of this week and next week, and then it's over.
Okay.
All right.
Well, we're very excited. We should also say, you like if someone said, "Hey, would you come sing at our wedding or something?" Like you're totally open to that kind of thing.
Oh yeah, I would love that. It's a ton of fun.
All right. So we'll actually give out your phone number, and people might ask you. So
there we go. Yeah, no, that's probably the best way to reach me would be find me on Facebook or Instagram.
Okay,
that's
just message you directly.
The quickest way, yeah.
All right, sounds good. I'm glad we didn't give out your phone number.
No, it's all good.
All right, so are you ready to do this?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, all right. It's Rawlston Smith covering Dean Martin this morning. Everybody loves somebody sometime. Here we go.
Everybody loves somebody sometime. Everybody falls in love somehow. Something in your kiss just told me my sometime is now. Everybody finds somebody someplace. There's no telling where love may appear. Something in my heart keeps saying my someplace is here. If I had it in my power, I'd arrange for every girl to have your charms. Then every minute, every hour, every boy would find what I found in your arms. Everybody loves somebody sometime. And although my dream was overdue, your love made it well worth waiting for someone like you. If I had it in my power, I would arrange for every girl to have your charms. Then every minute, every hour, every boy would find what I found in your arms. Everybody loves somebody sometime. And although my dream was overdue, your love made it well worth waiting for someone like you.
Rawlston Smith, great job.
Thank you. That was fun.
You could hang with any crooner out there, so that's nice job today.
Thank you. That's
So,
my favorite kind of music. So.
Yeah, it is. Well, you're good at it, and I can
Thank
see
you.
why. So if you want to reach out, you can find Rawlston, R-A-W-L
Yep. Rawlston
Smith at either Instagram or Facebook. Rawlston, thank you for coming in today.
Thanks so much for having me.
All right, it's 8:42 now on NewsTalk 1079. 8:44, consensus approval for Rawlston Smith's performance this morning, Julie, looking at the text line.
We got a text from somebody saying that his voice sounded like butterscotch and aged whiskey.
There you go. There you go. So that sounds about right. We're getting some texts from people using the app, Julie, and screenshots. So
Okay, so here's the deal. We have 2 sets of tickets to give away. 2 pairs of tickets to the Mountain States Policy Center Gala. It's at which hotel? The Grove.
the Grove, yeah.
I better figure that out because I got to drive there.
It'll be on the ticket too. So yeah, that's true. We're gonna have to navigate.
The Grove Hotel in Boise. So if you can make it to Boise Saturday evening, go ahead and text a screenshot of the app. So pull it up on your phone, text the screenshot. That enters you in, and we'll be picking 2 lucky texts to get a pair of tickets.
Okay. All right. We've had several come in. So, but I would say not hundreds. And so whoever texted in, you got pretty good odds here. So
Yeah. We know it's hard to get over there. So we get that it would be a little stretch for some people, but it's going to be an excellent night. Keynote speaker Dana Perino, fantastic meal will be provided. Great company. We heard from Brian Murdoch. He will be there.
Okay, yeah, that's true. You know what? He's going to be the guy. He's going to be the water guy. He'll walk around and pour water in everybody's glasses. So
I didn't say that joke, Brian.
he'll ask you, "Are you from Magic Valley?" And if they say yes, they don't get any water because they already have enough.
Do you have any affiliations with Idaho Power? No water for you.
No, you have to pay for it then. It's not courtesy. So, no, that'll be fun to rub shoulders. There should be a lot of lawmakers there, too. I saw in one of Chris Cargill's posts about it, he said there'll be dozens of lawmakers. So,
yeah, it'll be great.
Some we may have critiqued now and then.
Possibly. It's okay.
Yeah.
You get critiqued in that job, so it's okay.
I do. Hey, we get critiqued every day.
It's part of the gig.
And no amount of charm can insulate us from the critiques. I've noticed that.
It doesn't, but it's all right.
I don't. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
My filter worked.
Way to be.
Yeah.
It's the beauty of being 53.
It's sketchy though. Sometimes the filter stops working at about 8:40.
Gets plugged up.
8:52 or something like that. So, okay, Julie, what do you want to talk? Do you want to talk about the bond in Bonneville almost doubling, or not the bond? Excuse me, the levy.
The levy.
The levy, which is very different than the bond. It's all money, but the levy, you get a chance to say yes or no every 2 years. The bond, you get to say yes or no for the next 30. So that's why the thresholds are different. This is a levy, but they're saying, look at this, at the pace we're spending money, we're going to run out of money in about a year. So they're asking for an almost doubling of the levy.
Right. You and I were talking about this off air. I'll be completely transparent about what I said to you off air. I'm really out of the loop on this. I don't have kids in District 93. I don't know if it appears to the patrons of District 93 if they really are stretched thin. Yeah. And that makes a difference. It really does. If the patrons believe, wow, they really need this money, it's a lot easier to get it passed. I don't know what it looks like to them. If I was a patron in District 93, which I'm not, but if I was, I would start asking questions of, well, where have cuts been made?
Yeah.
District 93, I think, is a very well-run district. I'll never deny that. I think they do a really pretty darn good job there. I also hear a repeated complaint by people who are in that district that it's top-heavy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of administrative employees.
You know what? I would say, because I don't know, we don't have the numbers in front of us right here. I've heard that.
I've heard the complaint too. I don't even know if it's valid. It's just a complaint that goes around.
Yes, I don't know. But I will say this, and this is what I would advocate for. I think they should doge their budget before they go to the voters and ask them to double what they're paying. I think that's due diligence to go through and say, do we need 43 assistant superintendents? Like, I don't know if they have that many. I'm just saying. But I think that they should look at that and say, where are we heavy on this? And it would be interesting. You'd have to guarantee anonymity. But I would like to, with guaranteed anonymity, talk to everyone. Go to the teachers and say, are there too many people in the main office? See what they say. Go to people in the main office and say, where's the waste here? Because everybody would have probably a suggestion of what could be cut and where the waste is. But I think that it's not a believable contention to say that there is no waste and that there are no areas that we can reduce without inflicting a lot of pain. Because I can hear, not Superintendent Woolston, but I can hear the general school superintendent out there saying, well, yeah, we can cut PE, we can cut music. And I'm like, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about my realization that I was paying for a bundle that had ESPN Plus and for ESPN Plus separately. And I said, I don't need that second one. No disruption to my life whatsoever to cut out the second one. That's what I'm talking about. Are there redundancies or different ways you could operate that would result in savings, but it wouldn't result in a dramatic decrease in what you're offering?
And then maybe it wouldn't have to be double what you're asking for. Maybe it could be a little bit less.
Yeah.
Yeah. These are all great questions. You and I were chatting earlier. I will, once the legislative session is over, will include District 93 in the election interviews we will be scheduling. So we'll do our best to get Superintendent Woolston on air.
Yes. Can we have a tale of two school districts? There's a story out of Pocatello. Trustees in Pocatello-Chubbuck School District have adjusted their budget to account for a $1.3 million drop in state revenue. The shortfall is tied to declining enrollment, with over 100 fewer students attending local schools compared to last year. Officials say the district will likely need to align future staffing levels with the lower student count. Kate, I want to applaud that. You're doging before you're asking the taxpayers to bear the added burden. That's the right approach. And so I'm going to give some kudos to the Pocatello School District. You're going to say, okay, we have less money because we have less kids. That fill in the blank might be different. We have less money because of whatever. Whatever it is, doesn't really matter. You look at how you're spending your money. Your first step should be, how can we eliminate and reduce the waste? And then you go ask the voters. That's what I would want. That's what I'd want to see. And maybe they would say that we've already done that.
That's what I was to say. A gentle recommendation to District 93. If you feel like you have done this, man, start advertising the heck out of it.
Yeah, you should, because I do think asking for twice as much, you're perhaps imperiling a yes vote on the levy.
Right.
So
we did get a text from somebody that says, yes, there's way too many administrative staffers at D93. My wife works in the school district.
Okay.
So, like I said, it's a rumor I hear repeatedly from people who are in that district. And so it's a question that needs to be asked. If there's that many people saying it, is there validity behind it?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay, someone texted in The Bachelorette got canceled. Did you see that video of
I did.
What's her face throwing the chairs and screaming at her boyfriend?
Taylor Frankie Paul is her name. Dakota is the boyfriend / baby daddy.
Her daughter was in the room.
5-year-old sitting on the couch.
And now ABC has canceled The Bachelorette because she was the lead figure or something. I never watched The Bachelorette.
She is the Bachelorette. And then a whole bunch of bachelors come on and vie for her attention.
Are you surprised by this?
I actually am a little surprised it got canceled, because I thought all the spin around it was going to actually increase your viewership, that it was pretty amazing. But then when I watched the video yesterday, I'm not surprised at all.
Yeah.
It's hard to watch. It's hard to watch.
It is really hard to watch.
She looks completely unhinged. She does look inebriated. I'll add that clarifier there.
Yeah.
She throws 3 bar stools, and one of them either hits the daughter or comes very close to hitting the daughter. I will also say I do not believe baby daddy / boyfriend Dakota is completely innocent in this.
Yeah.
I think it takes 2 to dance.
It doesn't matter, though. I mean,
doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But I don't want anyone thinking we're just throwing
I want to
hate.
say that. When I say that doesn't matter, I'm saying for ABC's purposes for canceling The Bachelorette, it doesn't matter. Like they're canceling. It absolutely does matter. I don't want people taking what I just said out of context. But
I don't want anyone misinterpreting that we're 100% blaming Taylor Frankie Paul in this. But yeah, it's not good. Yeah, and you'll kind of turn your stomach if you watch it, so probably don't.
Did she just Will Smith her brand?
Possibly. And it's not just her brand. That's the thing.
Yeah.
The Bachelorette doesn't belong to her. So it belongs to ABC. So this is, I know you don't watch it, but this causes a whole bunch of ripple effects, because if they have to can the whole season, they have trade deals in place, because they do like airline deals and
right. Oh yeah.
And
there's a lot of downstream
deals.
stuff.
Yes. Yeah. Plus all of the advertising. Plus there's what she's more known for, which is Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. And I believe that they're like in a, I don't know if they're officially calling it a pause, but there's women that are on that reality TV show that say they're not doing it anymore. So that blows up that brand as well. There are people out there that be like, great, let it blow up, because it's horrible.
You just said that. I'm like, that may be the silver lining in all of this.
Yeah, it might be. I'm just saying that I'm taking a completely neutral stance, and the economic ripple effect of this domestic violence issue that happened. Just to catch everybody up, it happened a couple of years ago. She pled guilty to it. But then her and Dakota got into it again because they share a baby together.
Yeah.
They got into it again in February. And part of her probation on that guilty plea is that she wouldn't be involved in anything like this. So she's put herself back into legal peril.
Okay, I have heard the name Taylor Frankie Paul. Like I knew it was connected to the Secret Lives thing. Has she ever been married?
Yes, that was the whole deal. I have never watched any of this, but it's so culturally relevant. I know what's going on. I've never watched an episode of the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. But what happened is her and a bunch of her friends were doing mom talk on TikTok, and it was Mormon mom talk. And then they began mingling their marriages together.
Okay, so they're spouse swapping.
Yes, which destroyed those marriages and then led to the Hulu series and then to her being on The Bachelor.
You know, how sick is that behavior leads to a big media career? Mm-hmm. That's sick.
We're whacked.
We are in a very, very sick society.
Yep. This actually plays into something we talk about. We don't always talk about cultural stuff. We talk about political stuff. But this plays into that, which is I believe people want the extreme in everything nowadays. And that's why a show like Secret Lives of Mormon Wives can exist.
Yeah.
And be lucrative. Very, very, very lucrative.
I mean, it's like people watch it for the spectacle. Mm-hmm. All right. That's going to do it for this hour, but we've got another hour ahead right here on News Talk 107.9. Again, text a screenshot of your phone with our app on it, and that will automatically make you eligible to perhaps win tickets to Dana Perino tomorrow night in Boise. Just make sure that you can get to Boise. We don't want to see the tickets go to waste. So you can text that in for the next half hour or so. It's 8:59. Working out the logistics of lunch with Ryans. Someone said they moved to Meridian because they wore the road out between IF and Boise seeing their grandkids.
I get it. Totally get it.
Which way are you driving over today?
I might go Arco. I always am fearful. I should have clarified when we were talking the other day, because if you stop to sleep, one of the reasons I won't stop is because I'm a woman alone in a car.
I get it, yeah.
And that's the only reason that makes me nervous driving Arco.
And good morning. It is 9:07 on News Talk 107.9. Welcome back. It's hour 2. And if you'd like to join us on the program, 208-542-1079. You have about a half an hour left if you want to get in the running for those tickets to see Dana Perino at the Mountain States Policy Center dinner
gala. I don't know. We don't know what we're calling it.
No, I have to put a collared shirt on. That's all I do know. But so we would love to see you there. But we have 2 pairs of tickets to give away. So the way you enter, take a screenshot of the app on your phone and send us that screenshot. Just text it to us, 208-542-1079. We're just asking, be quite certain that you can go and that you're planning to go. Don't just enter just in case, because these are valuable tickets. And so we want to make sure that those who win it are able to use it. And I don't know how easy it would be to transfer names on it. So we want people who are going to go to be the ones participating. So
exactly.
I will say, if you can't go, but you just want to let us know that you use the app, send us a screenshot too.
We love that.
Just let us know you can't go, so we won't pick you. But anyway, we've had several of those come in say, sadly, I can't go, but here's my app on the phone. I'm like, awesome.
We mentioned this last hour, breaking news. Chuck Norris has passed away.
Yeah, 86 years old. What a life. Yeah, he was more than Hollywood too. Like he truly had quite the career in life. So anyway, someone said, please withdraw my name. I checked with my wife and I can't make it.
Aw, dang it.
I'm sorry. Okay, we won't pick you. Another one said, by the way, I can't go, unfortunately. So a lot of people sending these in are like, yeah, I can't go, but yeah.
I'd love to be part of the contest.
Yeah. Okay, Julie, we've got several things that we could talk about today. And this bill, you and I didn't talk about this too much. This bill that would require law enforcement to record the immigration status and the nationality of every person who gets arrested. Police groups don't like it. They say that it's going to be added workload for the officers. And normally I find myself in alignment with law enforcement on most things. If all it is a question and recording an answer, that is not enough added workload for me to go, oh, okay, it's too much workload. That's just one more question, maybe two. Are you here legally? And what is your nationality? And then putting that in your database or however you're recording the police log. I don't know where you'd put it down. That's not an added workload issue. I think it's more about, look, immigration is the federal government's thing. We don't want to be involved in that, and that's not really part of our purview. And I would say back legally, it's not until the legislature says it is, and the governor signs it.
So I want to clarify something about this bill that passed in the House and is now headed to the Senate, and who even knows if it'll even get heard or put in a drawer. But we were part of a discussion yesterday by some people here in the building, and it is important to note they are only required to ask this question upon arrest. It's not if you get pulled over for a speeding ticket.
Correct, yeah.
So when we talk about added workload, I can't imagine how few people they're arresting versus how many people they come in contact with.
Yeah. So this isn't going to be part of civil law, or administrative law. This is criminal law. If I understand the reading of the bill, that's the way I see it. Yes, and I believe that's true. Now, there was a moment, I think it was Representative Wheeler, in committee when Dale Hawkins was advocating for it and putting it forward. He was asked the question, did you reach out to law enforcement and ask them about this? His answer was no, I didn't reach out to law enforcement. I probably would. I would still support the bill, but I would also say that would have been due diligence in this. Just to see what it would require. To get feedback back from law enforcement, because it is an added element to their job. You probably should ask them how they feel about it. Yes. And, maybe part of their opposition is, you didn't even ask us about this bill. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that might make them crossways with Representative Hawkins. Well, yeah, I think it makes anybody crossways when somebody shows up and says, here's what you're doing. Yeah. Without any input. I know that's happened to me before. Mm-hmm. So let's go to the phones. 208-542-1079. And let's see. Caller, how are you today?
Good morning.
Hi.
Hey, why do they want this bill?
To gauge the I guess the added burden that the illegal immigrant population is on our law enforcement, on our legal system, and so it's just a reporting thing, really, more than anything.
I mean, if they got a driver's license, they're going to run that. They're going to find out, right?
Well, not necessarily. No, I don't think in the driver's license chain you have to prove you're here legally. And also you can get driver's licenses in other states. Yes. And be illegal. Yeah. And
that's right.
It doesn't tell the nationality either. So I think that it doesn't quite check all the boxes just looking at a driver's license.
Well, if it was anything like the seatbelt law, they're going to introduce it one way, and then it's going to creep into something else.
Yeah.
I don't trust it.
You would have voted against it if you were in the legislature then?
I think so, because I think that really what their goal is to check everybody's driver's licenses all the time for every instance, even buying food. Yeah. That's what I believe their goal is, and so they want to know if the banks have a policy called Know Your Customer. Yeah. And I think that policy is going to be on everybody, and so everyone has a driver's license all the time, and it's, where's your papers? That famous saying. Yeah. Unfortunately.
Well,
right, thank you.
Thank you for the call. Here's my question. Are you required to answer the question if asked by police officers. Because if I'm arrested for anything, whether I'm guilty or I'm not guilty, most attorneys, defense attorneys, are going to say, do not answer any question that you're not required to answer. Does the law require someone who's arrested to answer that question, or does it just require law enforcement to ask it and then record their answer? Could they say, I'm declining to answer this question, and that is the answer that will get recorded? I'd like to know. That's where the devil in the details things comes in. Like, what does the law say about the requirement to answer and to answer truthfully?
Yeah, so the devil in the details affects both sides here. When we're talking about the actual floor debate, and your Del Hawkins is asking his conservative peers to vote for this, these are questions they're going to ask. I also would hope that the people who automatically hate this bill ask the same questions. Find out the details before you automatically make a decision.
Yeah.
Because the conversation that we couldn't really correct yesterday, but that we heard, they were assuming that law enforcement could walk up to me, you, anyone, and say, hey, I'm with law enforcement. What is your nationality?
Yeah.
And that's not the detail of this bill.
No, it's
but
not.
I believe that's what's being pushed out there for people who want it to fail.
Yeah.
And so please be a savvy consumer.
Yeah.
Get the right knowledge.
Yeah, this is not like your local police department is going to be walking around telling everyone, show us your papers. Like, that's not what this is going to be. But I think I like the aim of the bill.
Yeah.
I think as taxpayers, we have a right to know this problem that we're trying to fix. What is the actual weight of the burden? I think that's a fair
What's
question.
the data point?
Yeah. But at the same time, I'm not, you may be violating a Fifth Amendment issue here if you're forcing people to admit something illegal. Because the burden of proof is on the state. So if you're answering a question, you yourself don't have to answer that question if it's going to incriminate you, right?
Right.
In criminal law. It's different if it's like all of the driving laws, they're totally different. They're not so. The moment you have a driver's license and you get in the car, you have waived your Fifth Amendment right. Okay. Somebody's going to disagree with me on that. I'm not going to argue with you. This is criminal law, something that can send you to jail. And so if you're asked a question, you don't have to answer it if it's going to incriminate you. And admitting that you're illegal incriminates you.
They're going to inform ICE.
Yeah, so I don't know how the judicial system is going to
this.
If this gets challenged, it could get thrown out on something like that. And furthermore, if you're not requiring them to be truthful, we can't trust the data.
Does it have any teeth?
Because I promise you, word is going to spread very quickly. When you're asked that question, just say, I'm not answering that question. And then the data becomes worthless once that's out there. So
Right. I get the intent of the bill. And I also want people to understand how the lawmakers are feeling right now, which is they want to help solve the immigration problem. And they feel like they're being stonewalled in the state of Idaho. So we've had multiple immigration bills come forward, tackling various parts of it, right? I still feel like we've missed the mark on everything that's brought forward. I think this misses the mark a little bit. I think especially Senator Harris's version of an E-Verify bill missed the mark tremendously.
That deliberately missed the mark.
Yes.
But yeah.
And there's just been these different iterations. I think that there's an explanation to that. This is a very hard problem to solve with the people that are currently here.
Yeah.
Shutting down the border and stopping the flow, that wasn't hard. There were laws on the books, and Trump made it happen day one.
Yeah.
But for the people that are currently here in America, that's where it gets all sticky and difficult and to make it work, because you have people that genuinely are enhancing America by being here, but they came in under Biden. What do you do with them?
For me, you have to deport them.
Yeah.
I think you have to.
I think that's a very valid solution, but it's not a solution for everybody.
No, it's not. But That is the solution.
Mm-hmm.
That's the legal solution.
So then, and I'm asking these questions, not challenging you. Like, these are the questions that need answered.
Yeah.
So what do we do with the people who are here working year round that are doing everything that they're supposed to be doing?
Until Congress solves the problem, you have to deport them.
There you go.
I'm sorry, dairy industry. I'm sorry, all these other industries. But the position of ignoring the law, looking the other way, is not a defensible position if you want to keep your republic.
Isn't it ironic that they're lawmakers?
Yeah.
And they're actively choosing to ignore the law.
Right. The solution, though, is get Congress to fix this thing. That is the solution. I mean, I'm saying deport them. I'm saying that's the legal solution because that's what laws mean. Mm-hmm. You do this thing, you have this consequence. And if we don't have that relationship, we lose our culture, we lose our society, we lose our legal system. We lose a lot if we decide there's some laws we're just going to ignore.
So I actually love the way that this conversation is going, because then I would like to sit down the kids who walked out of school in protest and waved the flag of Mexico and some other countries and talked about Orange Man Bad on their homemade signs and all of this, because I would like them to sit down and listen to what the actual options are, which is deport everyone, but what actual options are being taken, which is ICE is trying to get those most violent criminals off the street. But it's been inferred to a group of young people by Democrats that they're just sending everybody out.
Yeah.
And they could, but they're not.
Right.
And that needs to be explained to these young kids because they have a false idea of what's actually happening.
Yeah. Well, they do. But if you look at what ICE is doing, Obama did the same thing.
Absolutely. It's a theater campaign.
The problem that happened, Democrats are okay with deportations as long as the borders are open. Because whatever you send out, you can make up for it by people coming back in. Their panic, their complete and utter conniption over what's happening with ICE is that we're sending people back, but we're not keeping the border open so those numbers can be replaced. Mm-hmm. That's why they're not upset that people are getting sent back. They're upset that they can't replace that demographic that they've worked so hard to build up through open borders. Mm-hmm. They were never upset that Obama was deporting people.
And, geez, would someone please explain to these young kids that nobody in government cares about you?
Yeah.
You are expendable.
Yeah.
They prove that to you over and over and over again. So stop choosing sides based upon somebody telling you to hate someone.
Yeah, it is. They tell you they value you, but it's a lie. They just need you here so they can count you demographically and win another congressional seat for it.
Absolutely.
Let's go to the next call. Welcome to the program. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Good.
When you said, sorry, dairy farmers, I was raised on a dairy in southeastern Washington, and my dad hired a bunch of guys who came over here on H-2B visas, and he created a pattern, or I guess we'd call it a benefit, working for him, in which they could become legal citizens. And because they were good workers and they were helping us in our dairy, and so he provided a benefit, kind of like we would, health care or 401ks for people, that work for companies, but he created it so that they could become legal citizens. And after they became legal citizens, he said they didn't owe him anything, but some of them stayed and worked. And I remember one guy named Juan who moved on and started his own business, and he lived back in Michigan area, and he would constantly come back and visit and thank my dad for what he did, but my dad didn't, expect anything back. But I think a lot of these farmers, and I have nothing bad to say about farmers, but construction, landscaping companies that use a lot of these H-2B visa workers or high-level illegals, they need to come up with a plan themselves, because if they want to keep the workers, they create the benefit for them. If they work for them for 5 years with no legal issues, help them get their status, their legal status. it doesn't take much. And on the other part of Iran and their going on in the Middle East, if every country just said, you know what, we're not scared of you, Iran, anymore, and just show up and say, you know what, we're done. We're done letting you manipulate the energy market in the world. It's done. It's over. Instead of everyone trying to play a political game, the world would be a much better place.
Yeah.
It's getting tiring of people playing politics. Like Julie said, the politicians don't care about you. They just care about you every 3 or 4 years when they have to get some votes. It's frustrating. So
yeah,
I appreciate it. Thanks.
Thank you for the call. 208-542-1079. Problems to solve.
There's so many when it comes to the current immigration population.
Yeah. All right, let's take a break. It's 9:25 on News Talk 1079. We'll be back. Okay. Let's do your Timberline when we come back. You're good with that?
Yeah. I was thinking about this text that.
Yeah.
And what I'm going to say is going to sound really heartless, but I say it with I'm asking people to dissect information. So this person is texting in and explaining how expensive it is for the district to employ his wife. She doesn't make $120,000 a year, but it costs the district $120,000 a year to employ her because of insurance and Percy.
Yeah.
I know teachers won't accept this from me, but I just want them to pause and think about this. I've worked in my entire life from about age 16 on. Mm-hmm. My entire life. I never even took time off when I had kids. Now, there were times when I was part-time, but I never even took time off when I had kids. I don't have a retirement fund.
Mm-hmm.
I'm building my own. I'm putting money away.
Right. There's no pension. Yeah.
Percy is fantastic.
Yeah.
It is such a massive perk and benefit, and we focus solely on their hourly wage.
Mm-hmm.
Understand that I may make, by working 3 jobs, I guarantee I make more than a teacher.
Right.
But I'm paying my own Percy. I'm putting my own money away.
Yeah.
So I just want people to be honest in their arguments, that there are some really great things about being a teacher, even if the hourly wage is low.
Yeah.
That's all. Said with all the love to all my teacher friends.
Summer's off. I mean, you know. Okay. We've got about 25 seconds here. We should try something. Hey, caller, can you hear us okay? Okay, we'll be on here in about 15 seconds, okay? All right, stand by.
She's got little kids.
Yeah, here we go. All right, 9:29 now on News Talk 1079.
I mean...
Double, it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was me.
Like, Neal's over there with a guitar strumming away.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to talk about Timberline Home and their amazing line of furniture that you just can't get anywhere else, which is why they're the trusted regional destination for your furniture choices. It's everything that you're not going to get at a big box store. They have beautiful, regionally made leather furniture, stunning. Neal has taken a pretty solid nap on it while I walked around Timberline Home. Yeah. They also have their stressless line of furniture. That includes the furniture that's made to sleep in, also massage chairs or those chairs that help you stand up and lift out, like lift chairs. They've got all of that. They have custom-made furniture, so you can go in and they'll give you book after book of fabric choices, and then also wood designs and different types of furniture, and you can mix and match and put it all together so it perfectly fits in your home. They'll even let you take those swatches home to paint match and everything. It's amazing. Right now, with this massive clearance sale that they've got going on, all custom orders are 25% off. And lots of the furniture on the floor is marked down up to 50%. So they're doing this on purpose. They're trying to clear out the store because they've got a whole bunch of new furniture in, and you get to benefit from those low prices. Remember, they also have great financing options available, and they're really good at customer service as well. They're going to follow you all the way through. They've been around forever. And when I say they're the trusted regional destination, that's why. There's really great customer service there. 711 East Anderson in Idaho Falls. That's Timberline Home.
9:30 our time, and we're going to give you about 2-3 minutes to, if you haven't yet, send in your screenshot of the app. If you've already done it, don't worry about it. But if you haven't and you'd like to win tickets, make sure you're going to be able to go tomorrow night to Boise to see Dana Perino. You can get those in, and then Julie and I will pick a winner here in the next few minutes. A couple of winners, actually, right here on NewsTalk 1079. News is next. Okay, I'll be right back.
Okay, you forgot about the caller. Did she hang up?
I did. No, she is still on. I just wanted to keep up with
Yeah, I was just going to have you tell her.
Okay.
Oh, there
she
is.
can hear us now. So.
Okay, we're going to get to you. We just had to hurry and take a commercial break. So stick with us if you can, okay? Okay, thank you.
Okay, all right.
I haven't read this all the way through, Michael, but this is what I said about the district. If they have made the cuts, man, I'd be advertising them because clearly they want the votes from the patrons. So what Michael said is, I know I can't speak for the district, but I know they have cut millions from their budget already. They have laid off employees and are still laying off others. The cuts would be deeper than physical education. It includes GATE, which is the Gifted and Talented program. I loved GATE, by the way. I would have been sad if they had gotten rid of it. And that's no flex because I don't know if I'm gifted or talented, but I had high enough scores to be in there. So it was a super fun program. They're thinking about getting rid of all-day kindergarten and then some athletic cuts and more. The COVID money was use it or lose it, which we figured it was. I know you get all the meat when you interview the superintendent and board members. And Superintendent Rawlston is always very willing. He knows it's going to be some difficult questions, when he comes on. But I have heard from other people. I've had conversations with other people around the state, and I have been told that Superintendent Rawlston is kind of the gold standard when it comes to superintendents. That across the state, he is very well respected for the way that he runs that district. And I do think it's a well-run district. But I also think it's fair to ask the question about if I've got a ton of, and I would say more than a dozen people who live in that district and who are really involved in their kids' education will say that it's administrative heavy. So I think that's a question he should answer. If his patrons are saying it, at least answer them. I don't have a vote on this levy, so at least answer them with that question, because if that rumor is going around, I would tackle the rumor head on, and knowing Superintendent Rawlston, he would.
So the levy 2 years ago, was it an increase from the previous levy?
I don't know.
I think people can ease into an increase, but
I would also say something that's playing against District 93 actually has nothing to do with District 93. I think this city and this area has watched District 91 come forward and ask for $250 million in a bond, and it failed. And then they've been able to carry forward and live, and the kids have been educated, and the kids have done school, and they've done sports. And I think what that implies to everybody in the city is, see, you didn't need the $250 million. I'm not saying that's how I feel.
Yeah.
I'm saying that's a potential ripple effect of it failing and everything going on like it's normal.
Yeah.
So I think that impression gets out there. And so when that impression gets out there, then these people in other districts go, well, they didn't get their $250 million. We're going to be fine.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's accurate. Well, I'm just saying that's a possibility.
Is it a version of crying wolf? Like they're saying all these horrible things are going to happen if we don't get this. They don't get that. They still find a way to make those things happen.
They found a way to make it work.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean it's good. And it does. And I remember I voted for the $250 million. Yeah. So I'm just reading the room and telling people what it might look like.
Yeah. And I think they realized that vote fell so far short. They knew that there wasn't a different version they could tweak to get the vote up to where it needed to be. All right, 9:36 on News Talk 1079. It's Friday. Neal, Larson, Julie Mason, and you all. If you'd like to reach the program, 208-542-1079. 1079. Julie, we cannot forget in the next commercial break, we got to pick our winners. I'll get a couple of random numbers and we'll pick them and text them back. And look forward to joining them tomorrow evening. Boise, Dana Perino, Grove Hotel. It's the Mountain States Policy Center's spring dinner. That's what it says on it. It's not a gala.
Oh, you looked it up?
Spring
Okay,
dinner.
good.
So anyway, and she just wrote a book. She's going to be there. She's going to give a speech on probably talking about the midterms and politics in America. I'm interested to learn a little more about her time in the Bush White House because and I wonder what that's like for her because the Trumps and the Bushes kind of hate each other, right? Like there's a rivalry there. Does that ever sort of color her feelings about Donald Trump?
Does she feel loyal?
Yeah.
To the Bushes?
Yeah, and it's because I don't sense that she's anti-Trump at all. But I wonder if it's like I know she loves the Bushes too, so I wonder if that's a little tough at times. And if there's a chance to ask her, I might say, "What was written on the funeral programs that were passed out?" Because that was weird.
Knows?
I don't know, probably not. All I know is Jeb looked like he wanted to throw up after he looked at it.
Do you think that Dana ever gets tired of talking about politics and her job? Like she just wants to, maybe she does sourdough and we can have a big, long conversation about sourdough starters.
Maybe. Maybe so. Yeah. It wouldn't surprise me. Maybe she does. Everybody needs a break, right? Mm-hmm. And that's when you talk about Taylor Frankie Paul and The Bachelorette.
She probably has an opinion about that.
Probably so. I'm curious. We won't do a flash poll on this, but I am curious what the audience thinks about this idea to limit the number of bills legislators can request each year. How about this? Because I don't think that this should just be an unconditional demand. Mm-hmm. If there's a limit on the number of bills that can be passed, there should be a limit on the number of bills that can be put in a committee drawer.
Do a trade-off?
Yeah.
Sure.
And just say, okay, but that means you have to hear 90% of them. If you're going to limit them, then you have to have a limit on the bills that you will not take up.
I don't know if 90 is high enough.
I know, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm not,
as a relative,
just talking generally here.
Yeah.
Like just put just say, look, okay, you know what, we can talk about this, but we feel like this drawing of bills, I don't think that's a verb, but I just made it. This drawing of bills is requiring us to flood the zone. Mm-hmm. Because we don't, you're making it more likely that if you're going to increase our failure rate on legislation by putting a bill in a drawer, then we have to increase the frequency of our legislation in hopes that we can get some things through.
Do you know what I wish is that I wish we could talk to somebody who has served in both sides of the chamber, like Julie Van Orden. Mm-hmm. I don't think she would answer this question if I asked her, but I would love to talk to somebody who's now retired that served on both sides and have them honestly say, did you work harder as a House member or as a Senate member? Because from the outside looking in, it seems like the Senate isn't sweating as much as the House. And maybe that's a completely inaccurate view. Maybe it's not that way. But it would be interesting to hear from a lawmaker who has served on both sides and which one felt more, time intensive. That's a good word for it.
Yeah. I'd also like to, there's a record number of bills that have been initiated. Now, some of them, they don't make it very far. But we're hearing close to 900 in this legislative session. That's a lot. That's a lot of bills.
A lot.
And I think we can all agree that's a lot. I think, but Jordan Redmond is only like 600 of them. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. I like Jordan Redmond.
He would laugh about that.
Yeah, he's. But I'd like to know how many of them. Most of them are in the House. How many of those actually make it over to the House? Because the Senate's not bearing the burden of all those bills. They're only bearing the burden of what gets through the House, gets passed, and then gets transmitted over to the Senate. So we can't look at that and go, oh, the poor Senate, because the legislature's drafted almost 900 bills. The Senate only sees what the House passes and sends over.
And they don't even see all of that because some of it gets put in
in
a drawer.
a drawer. Yes, exactly. That's true. But I'm saying that's part of the Senate burden of legislation is a committee head putting it in a drawer. So how many bills are actually arriving from the House over to the Senate side? Because the way this is being promoted or put forward is that there's just way too much for us to do. Most of it is happening in the House. It is, because you have very active lawmakers over there, and
there's more of them.
They're hard workers. They're very ambitious. Sometimes maybe they're a little too much, but I want to know the people doing the complaining the most. What is the actual burden on you and your chamber? And it might be a lot. I'm not saying it's not, but I'd like to know what the actual numbers are. How many of these bills actually made it through and is sitting on the shoulders of the Senate in one form or another?
I wonder if we could ask Chat GPT about that.
I bet we could.
And Chat might not be able to collate what happened this year, but it might be able to collate what happened last year because it's all completed and everything.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I
That
don't know.
would be interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure. So we talked about the story out of American Falls about the man facing a felony charge, the bear spray story. Well, there's a story out of Chalice that we should talk about too. A 65-year-old Chalice woman is in custody after she allegedly shot a man who says she says told her to pull the trigger.
Yeah, they were fighting.
And yes, alcohol was involved. Diane Weatherby is facing felony battery charges after Custer County deputies found a man with a gunshot wound to his leg on Saturday night. Both parties had reportedly been drinking and arguing before the shooting occurred.
Biden would be so proud about this because he always felt like a cop should be able to shoot in the leg.
Right. This is the Biden method.
Yes, exactly. He would applaud Ms. Weatherby's efforts.
Yeah. So is this man her husband or a significant other?
I don't know.
And furthermore, is it a mitigating factor that he told her to pull the trigger? Like, I know she still committed a crime, allegedly. I'm not saying it's not a crime. But if you're a prosecutor or if you're a jury, do you look at that and go, yeah, but he told her to do it?
Got what you asked for. I don't know. I don't think you can as a jury member if you're fulfilling the rule of the law.
Yeah.
Because you're supposed to uphold the law. Like, that's what you're supposed to reference. And she allegedly broke the law. So I think if it went to a jury, that's the only thing you could look for. The intent. So did she do it because he told her? That could change the charge. Like, is it manslaughter or second degree? Like whatever level the charge is. But if she broke the law, she broke the law.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
I
but a jury doesn't always, even though they're instructed to follow that, it doesn't mean they do.
Right. The discretion is going to come from the prosecutor, right? Mm-hmm. And then the judge in sentencing. But the jury's, their sole purpose is to say, did this person commit this crime? Mm-hmm. Are they guilty of this crime? So,
but even at that, they don't always just...
If you're a prosecutor, then let's not talk about a jury. If you're a prosecutor or if you're a judge, do you say, yeah, but he told her to pull the trigger on it? Like, she needs to be punished, but... If you're dumb enough to start drinking and then you're even another layer of dumb and saying, pull the trigger, and it's your leg, he's not dead. So I look at this and I'm like, yeah, she needs to be punished. But maybe you do look at the fact that he egged her on to do this.
Yeah. Well, yes, I think you look at that if you're the prosecutor. And then I also think you look at when he comes home from the hospital, do they just go back to living with each other if they are significant others who share a domicile?
I don't know.
Because if they do you just go, I don't have time for this?
I don't either. And I have never been a fan of red flag laws. But, and I'll stop there because, again, we have these situations where you're like, I don't agree with it, but I understand it. And this might be a situation where you're like, I don't like red flag laws. I don't agree with them, But these situations make you understand why some people do want them.
And what if the prosecutor or the investigators are talking to him and he's like, "You bet I told her to shoot me." Like he admits to it.
Yeah.
You're even more
That's
inclined
true.
as a prosecutor to go, "Yeah, I really don't have time for this. We're going to be done."
She was just carrying out my wishes. Okay, here's a good flash poll. And this thinking about this story has inspired me to ask this. Not that we'll do it, but it'll be good for a laugh. If you had to choose between you could only have one thing in your house, either alcohol or guns, which would you choose? I know what you'd choose. I know what you'd choose, Julie, and a lot of people. But for people who like their alcohol and they like their guns, which one would you choose? If you could only have one. If the universe came to you and said, you can have one or the other. You can have your guns or you can have your alcohol. Which one are you going to have in your house?
That's an interesting question because I think there would be more people who say alcohol than we would be surprised.
I think you're exactly right about that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go to the phones. 208-542-1079. Hi, caller. How are you?
Good morning, Neal. Julie. This is Dave from Brookville. How are you?
Good, Dave.
I just heard you talking about the bill the House passed that would require police to ask someone they arrest if they are legally here or not. Is that correct?
Yes. And nationality.
And nationality?
Yeah.
Well, so I don't understand why on earth that legal question, why that would not be something they ask already, because, we're asked that. They ask many things like voting, applying for loans, for jobs, but getting arrested and then you mentioned how bills related to immigration that pass the House go to the Senate and usually die there. My question is, well, first off, I've never been a Senator Guthrie fan ever since I heard that he wanted driver's license for illegals here in Idaho. And it's my understanding the U.S. Congress is wanting a bill to stop that altogether. But my question is, why would that be the case? Why would a bill like that pass in the House and then die in the Senate? Because I personally would want to know, which lawmakers would be responsible for that, because I wouldn't want to really support or vote for it.
Yeah. Well, that's why they don't want to vote on it. And that's exactly why they don't want to vote for it or vote on it.
Yeah, I mean, there could be, we don't know, they could be a terrorist or something they're pulling over, and common sense questions can, obviously liberals wouldn't want that, people that support illegal immigration, but I'm not for that. So, yeah, I definitely think that needs to change. And I would like to find out who is responsible for it dying there, because like I said, I wouldn't want to support that. So.
Yeah. No, thank you for the call. And that's a good point. Let's go to the next caller. Welcome to the show, caller. How are you?
Good. How are you two this morning?
We're doing pretty well. What's up?
Good. Well, you did not say anything about, two in the household. So my husband can have his booze, and I'll keep the guns. So we are covered.
You're already trying to find a loophole to my hypothetical situation?
I have found a loophole.
Okay.
You're a better shot anyway, huh?
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Have a good day.
All right. Thank you for the call. 208-542-1079. I'm going to, you know what? I'm going to, we'll just call her Annie. She didn't say her name, but it's Annie, get your gun. So. Annie Oakley. Did you ever see that play?
I have seen that play. I can't remember any of it. But when you said Annie, I didn't go there. I went, Annie, are you okay? Are you okay?
Okay.
Are you okay, Annie?
I thought you were going to say...
Am I a child of the 80s or am I a child of the 80s?
I thought you were going to say, the sun will come out tomorrow. That Annie. All right. Too many Annies floating around. Let's go to the next caller. Welcome to the show, caller. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
Good. What's up?
Hey, in this whole conversation about asking somebody who gets arrested what their nationality is, it seems to me like the point in time to ask that, if you're only going to do it when somebody gets arrested, that would be at the booking process. You're already in jail, you're being booked, they're going through all the stuff. It would be the booking officer's responsibility to just ask one more question.
Yeah.
The actual police on the street wouldn't have to get involved really in that at all.
That's a good point. I think law enforcement's going to be opposed to it in either situation. But I absolutely appreciate the point you're making.
Thanks. Bye.
Yeah, thank you for the call.
Yeah, get it. I think the work is a red herring.
It's not a workload issue. It's one more question.
Yeah. And I love our police.
I do too.
I love them. I think it's a red herring.
Yeah. Let's go to the next caller. Welcome to the show, caller.
Hi. So, who determines? You guys talk about these bills that come out of the Senate and then go to the House and then just die. Who determines that bill dies? Does it just show up and they go, "Oh, that's pretty," and they throw it on a shelf and then never see it again? Who determines? Who has that power to just keep a bill from advancing once it's been passed?
The chairman of the committee the bill is going through.
Is that an elected representative, or is that just some committee that's a bureaucratic committee?
It is always an elected representative or senator that is the committee chair.
So it goes to a committee, and that's where they go, no, we're not going to vote on it.
Yeah. Yep.
So there's got to be a way to find out who's killing these bills.
Well, there's a couple of them. I believe Dan Foreman is a senator who is gaining a reputation of killing bills. Senator Jim Guthrie is another chairman who is, for years, people have been frustrated that a bill, very popular, very relevant, passes by wide margins in the House, and it gets put in a drawer and they will not even consider it in committee.
Okay, it's time to start making these people go away.
Yeah, well, it's tough because they're safe in their seats. A lot of them are. So,
yeah, people need to be more informed. Okay, Thank you.
You bet. And I don't want to single out Dan Foreman, Jim Guthrie. I mean, there are other chairmen. It happens on the House. You know what? It happens on the House side. Brent Crane does the same thing reciprocally. Reciprocally? Is that the right word? He reciprocates the drawing of the bills because he's like, look, we're not going to do you the courtesy of hearing every bill that you send over because you're putting in a drawer a bunch of bills that we're sending over. So I think that there is retaliatory drawing of bills.
Somebody heard our earlier segment, a lawmaker heard our earlier segment, and that lawmaker texted me and said, yes, this absolutely happens. What we were theorizing in that earlier segment is that they will actually craft the bill in hopes that it goes to a different chairman. So the way they write the bill helps determine which chair hears the bill, which committee hears the bill, and they will actually add language to steer away from certain senators. That lawmaker said that absolutely happens.
Yeah. I mean, if I were writing a bill, I would.
I'd use it to my benefit.
Yeah. The problem is you can't always predict, though. Like, because I think leadership makes
still
the assignment
gets to make the call
of where the bills go. So,
yeah, it's an attempt, is what it is.
Yeah. All right. 9:55. We're going to break. We'll come back. We have our final segment just ahead. We're going to pick a couple of winners for the Dana Perino dinner tickets. And we'll have those. We won't have names. We just have phone numbers. So, but watch your inbox. If you have texted in, you may be one of two people to win a ticket. And you and a +1 can join us in Boise tomorrow night for the Dana Perino dinner. We'll be back. Okay, we've got to pick a couple of people.
You doing it?
Yeah, part of the problem is it's kind of gotten buried. So
when you find them, and whomever you pick, let's change the name to like winner 1, winner 2, and then we can easily find it. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We can go back and take it off later, but
okay. Oh, we also, you know what? We'll just have to do it during Facebook Live because we've got to do advanced Windows.
Okay.
Refresher. There we go. 30 seconds. Yeah, we'll have about them. This will be about perfect. All right, here we go. All right, 9:57 on NewsTalk 107.9. Just about a minute left here, and let's talk about your Windows. If you've had Windows for a while, you want to take a close look at them. Maybe they're breached. and the moisture gets in between. Maybe they're warped or discolored. Maybe they're just not that efficient, and that's where our friends at Advanced Window Products comes in, because they manufacture the windows, they install the windows, and then they guarantee those windows for life.
And this energy efficiency will eventually pay for itself. Now, it does take some time, but that reduction in heating costs and in cooling costs, because it happens twice a year.
Yeah.
Those will eventually add up, and you're paying for the windows over time. And so if you're the person sitting here going, I would really love to do this, they do have financing options available so that those two things can catch up with each other.
So give them a call today if you want to make your home more comfortable and quieter year-round. 208-852-8685. That's 208-852-8685. And by the way, when you order 10 windows or more, you get at least $2,500 off. So there's good incentive there to replace those windows. Have a great weekend, everyone. Julie and I will stick around for a few minutes on Facebook Live, and we'll see you here on Monday.